gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, and the technicolor rainbow in between. This is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Chris Boingo Ryder Gaston, and with me is, as always, my tag team partner,
Simeon the Vacuuminator Scott, here to talk to you about another exciting week of wrestling. We've got Cody, we've got the Bucks, we've got Kenny, we've got... Hangman, you cool, bro? You okay?
We got another year of this bullshit, and hey, at least we don't have to talk about 2 wrestling shows this week.
Yeah, because literally NXT was reruns and some awards.
Yeah.
Some awards that don't really matter because it's just Triple H putting a medal on his kids.
Here's a star for you. Here's a star for you. Oh, you get 2 stars.
Mm-hmm. Adam Cole's like, Daddy loves me the bestest.
Speaking of Adam Cole, I think we talked about it last time, but the whole picture of AEW people, and then in the background's Adam Cole.
Yeah, and Matt Jackson is playing the role of a security guard telling him to leave.
Or I love there was one interpretation I saw. It was Matt Jackson going like, yeah, no, we totally fucking signed you, but do we also have to sign Redragon and Roddy Strong too? We signed them too. We will. It's just I got to figure out budget. You know damn well that would happen too.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, they would fucking because Adam Cole was a Bullet Club boy.
Yeah.
Ah man, they do fucking gangbusters in AEW.
They would, but
they're already doing gangbusters.
Hunter
in
has
NXT.
his claws into them, so that's not happening.
But they're already doing gangbusters in NXT. I'm not upset at what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's good. It's good shit.
It's such good shit.
It's proper good shit. That's the difference. Such good shit is bad shit. Proper good shit, that's good shit.
Yeah, like the Lana Lashley wedding, that was such good shit. And that's all we're gonna say about it.
Yeah. He wasn't wearing sleeves.
Oh come on, that was the one thing I liked. That was a great look.
I know. I'm just saying he wasn't wearing sleeves. Apparently, Liv Morgan did something.
Liv Morgan is gay, and her and Lana have been fucking backstage for like the last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, Mandy Rose and oh god, I forgot her name. The one that's actually a lesbian.
Sonya Deville.
Yeah, they were not very happy about it on Twitter.
Yeah. It's not a good look.
But on the other hand, wait, Les.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with WWE. Quick rant about WWE. They try to look all like, look at us, we're progressive, and then they pull bullshit like that. It just makes everything look disingenuous.
It's almost like there's 3 different cooks in the kitchen.
Yep. But hey, real quick, we can talk about the pretty consistent for a couple rat turds, NWA real quick, because they've been doing some good shit, and I need to catch up.
Oh, did you not watch this week's episode of Power?
No, I was meaning to watch it today, and I just didn't get to it.
Oh, dude, it's fucking great. I would really recommend watching that, even if you don't have time to watch all the other ones.
No, I'm going to start with this week's episode, like, after we end this tonight.
Mm.
And then catch up, and then, like, keep up with it. Like, that's my plan. But, like, from what I'm seeing, it seems really interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of their most solid episode so far, I'd say, because we had some... I'll start off with like the minor angle because there's a big angle that goes through the whole episode, and then there's a minor angle that I really liked, so I wanted to highlight it. So Eli Drake and Kenny Anderson have been having a feud for a little while, just like kind of a young guy doesn't respect the old guy, old guy wants to teach the young guy a lesson kind of a thing. And recently, Eli Drake got himself really over because on their Christmas episode, he did he did the Adam Page drunk gimmick, but he did it as a comedic thing. Like, he came out with a giant bottle of schnapps, and he's like, hey, everybody, look at me. I'm the best. I'm a champion. Look at me. Look at my shoes. See these shoes? Shoes of a champion. See this jacket? Shoes of a champion. And then he starts running around and like yelling "yeah" a lot. He got the phrase "yeah" over in the Daniel Bryan yes movement way. Where now this week when he came out to cut a promo, everybody was just yelling "yeah" at him, and he's just standing there smiling next to the interview guy, looking at the crowd. And then finally, when they settle down, he looks at the interview guy and goes, "Let me talk to you," and the crowd erupts like, "Finally, it's happening!" He's so fun the way he's over now. Like I've gone from who the fuck is Eli Drake to I really like Eli Drake. He's one of my favorite mid card guys. He talks a little bit about like how he's looking forward to getting in the TV title picture and all that. And then Colt Cabana comes out and he goes, "Hey, you keep shitting on Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson's like a friend of mine, and I'm not cool with that. Could you just like lay off? Like I don't want to fight you or anything, but you need to be a little more respectful, man."
Hey, respectful coworker to coworker. Fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm. That kind of a thing. And then he says, I can't remember what he said, but it was something kind of inflammatory. And Ken came out, and they're about to have a fight. And then it's like, okay, well, there will be a match between Colt Cabana and Eli Drake next week now because of this. I think that's how it ended. I'm not 100% sure because it's been a bit. But it was just a really solid angle, and I enjoyed getting to see all those people working together. And I'm loving how over Eli Drake is right now. But then the main story for this episode was that the sort of feud that's been running all since the beginning of Power, and even back before then when NWA was on its way back up, with Nick Aldis and Tim Storm, where Aldis has been going over and over again, like, I respect Tim Storm. He's such a great guy, and we can all learn a lot from him and his attitude towards life. And I just want to have a really nice match with him. And I'm good. I'm nice. And now he's gone full heel. He's got this faction, Strictly Business, and Tim Storm's like, "Look, I'm going into TV title picture. I don't care what anybody thinks of me." He did the Dusty line of like, "I may be broken down and I may have issues with my body because of my age, but I'm still bad and they know it." And so this week, Nick Aldis comes out and he starts cutting a promo with Strictly Business, and he's like, "Look, I put my name in the TV title tournament for fun. I did it because there's no one else who can really stand up to me at this point for the world title, so I wanted to do something else for a little bit." And the whole crowd is just shouting Marty Scurll at him, and he's ignoring them. And he goes, "But my first match in the tournament is with Tim Storm. I fought Tim Storm a lot." And, now he's cutting these promos and he's talking about how, like, personal and serious this match is to him. And Tim, buddy, you're taking all the fun out of it. So I think I'm going to pull out. And Tim Storm comes out and he's calling bullshit. And the interview guy is even like, "Really, man? You're just giving him a bye because you don't want to fight him, because you're just healing out like this." And he's like, all right. Strictly Business will still be in this. Royce Isaacs, you're going in." And Royce makes this great face like, "Wait, what? We did not discuss this." And so he gets in the ring, and the main event ends up being a match between him and Tim Storm. And they have a fairly solid little match. Like, Royce Isaacs doesn't look like complete shit, but he's clearly not up to Tim Storm's level. Tim Storm kicks his ass. He's going to proceed to the official first round, because right now it's pre-tournament determination qualifying matches. But Tim Storm will now be proceeding to the first round of the TV title tournament. And clearly there's still some unresolved issues between him and Aldis. And I'm enjoying how slowly they're working this story, especially because, like, it's still up for grabs. What's going to happen with, is this leading to Tim Storm becoming the champion again? Because technically he gave up the right to challenge for the title again after his last match. So where's this going? It's got that element to it too. And I'm very much enjoying it.
Alrighty. Yeah, sounds like It sounds good, and I want to watch it.
All right.
But here's what I did watch this week. Some AEW. And hey, Cody has a manager.
Not manager. Not manager. It's his coach.
Personal coach. Personal coach to the Rhodes family. Not just Cody, but also giving some advice to Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very new, but very classic traditional way of like doing some wrestling stuff.
Yeah, we've got Arn Anderson coming in to do this. He's officially signed with AEW now because he was just kind of like a consultant up till now, but now he's officially signed with them to be an on-screen talent. And I really like the way they've worked this because a lot of people complained when this was first announced, like, and I was even kind of in this mindset of like, oh, it should have been DDP. DDP's always been Cody's older buddy. And like, didn't Arn repeatedly kick Dusty's ass back in the day? Why would Cody want to team with this guy? But then I heard the way Brian Alvarez explained it. Cody can't challenge for the world title anymore. Who's a guy who never won a world title but was a great wrestler and won all sorts of other prizes? Arn flipping Anderson.
Yep. He knows his way around the mid-card, and Cody's going like, you know what? This guy fucking knows.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna put my cards on this side of the table now, and we'll see how it goes. And it went pretty well for him because the first match of this week's Dynamite was him taking on Darby Allin in a rematch from Fight for the Fallen to get a definitive winner because they went to time limit last time. And Arn came out with him, and they had a really fun chemistry together where Cody's clearly being the babyface, playing up to the crowd, like, "Come on, guys, we're gonna have fun. Let's do this. Let's go, woo!" And Arn's just kind of like the big Papa Bear in the background, going like, "All right, kid, another day at the office. Let's get it done.
All right, after this, you're gonna punch some meat."
Yeah,
it's less like a technical coach and very much like, all right, go out there and give it your all. What do you want me to do, coach? Give it your all. And
get your knees up. Get your knees up right now. Okay, we got Darby, pin him. And Cody wins. Cody finally got his big win.
There was a lot of great like Arn Anderson touches throughout this match. Because it was a cool match to finally get like a definitive. Yeah, Cody is genuinely right now at this point in time better than Darby, which we all kind of knew in our gut to a certain extent. But like now we got the win and it's good.
But they made Darby look really strong during this match.
He looked really strong. And here's the thing: if it almost feels like if Cody didn't have Arn Anderson helping him out a little bit, it could have went the other way.
And it also, just from a size perspective, makes sense that Cody won because he had the advantage. I mean, Darby Allin's a skinny little skater boy, and Cody's a flippin' built professional wrestler. So, in a way, it was kind of a David and Goliath story.
And Cody dragged it to the mat a lot, which is not something that's really heavily in Darby's repertoire.
Yeah.
But, like, Arn Anderson had a couple great moments of, like, he's talking to Cody. He holds a piece of paper in front of his mouth so Darby can't see what he's talking about. And it's just like, that's such a classic coach move that, like, it makes total perfect sense. And it, like, adds legitimacy to this whole shindig.
Very early 80s, which again is right in Cody's wheelhouse. He's a huge mark for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like dated like NWA does. But NWA is going purposefully for a dated feel.
It's like, here's a trope, let's do it in a modern context.
Yeah, he's not just my manager. He's my coach. He's giving me advice. He's there to kind of keep an eye on my physicality.
Yeah, because what's Arn gonna do as a traditional idea of a manager? Is he gonna talk for Cody? No, he can't out talk Cody. Is he gonna do like distraction spots and what that? No, they're not heels. So he's just giving sound advice and providing a nice visual during the entrance.
That and like there's elements that you can do with it. He can be an element of babyface in peril. You don't want to keep beating Cody up for the match. Well, he can be the heel can heal up on Arn because he's a classic. He's a cool dude. Everybody kind of likes Arn Anderson. Oh, fuck the heel. He's fucking with Arn Anderson. Cody can go in there, and the heel can use that as a moment to like fucking get one over on him.
Yeah, because we can't use Dustin for that every feud.
So it's good. There's a lot of interesting things that can be done with Arn Anderson in this role, and I'm excited to see more.
Yeah.
I can definitely understand why people would be like a little bit kind of with it, though.
And I wasn't necessarily I was just cocking my eyebrow like, okay, where is this going? Are we getting a full-on feud with Sean and Tully? And it's more of a strategistic thing than a character thing. And I think that works.
Yeah. And there's always that one kind of thought that I saw that I repeated to you the other day that, Arn Anderson was part of the Four Horsemen. They could basically make a new Four Horsemen with their other horse-themed wrestler who's already kind of in the outs with the Elite. That kind of thing. With Arn Anderson basically betraying Cody.
You know, that's something I hadn't thought of that before, but this idea just popped into my head. Sean and Tully are still looking for a partner. Hangman's on his way to being a heel.
May I pitch this to you? Because Tully Blanchard was also a member of the Four Horsemen at one point in time. Sean, MJF, Hangman, Wardlow.
That's some good boys.
That'd be some good fucking heel shit.
Yeah. With
possibility of not MJF, but like Sean could kind of turn face and turn on the group. So can Paige. There's interesting dynamics there. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying you could do it.
Yeah, when we all get a little tired of the inner circle, that might be the way to go.
Yeah. Yep. But Chris Statlander was supposed to have a shot at the women's title, but due to conflicts with a previous independent date, AEW was like, all right, cool, that's fine. We're willing to work with other companies and wrestler schedules, so we're scheduling that for next week. And in the meantime, Riho's still going to have to defend
against all the other people who are on the ranking board right now.
Yep. And it's like, damn, it was a good fucking match.
Yeah. I mean, you could be like, okay, there's one thing to say about this besides the actual content of the match, which is, why didn't you guys double check the booking before? And like, okay, good on you for working with another company like that, but why didn't you double check?
I think this is going to be the last time they don't double check. I think they're going to start being a lot more stringent. Not necessarily like you can't do other dates, but more like, hey, if you do another date, you need to tell us 2 months in advance.
Yeah, well, they're probably they have learned their lesson from this, is what I think is going on. And that was a big theme with this episode of Dynamite. There's a lot of like learning from criticism that has come from earlier episodes, because we watched this live together and I said it to you, I think this is their most solid episode so far. And a lot of that comes down to they're just listening to certain criticisms that have been out there. And we'll get into that as we go on. But this women's four-way was really fucking good. We had, of course, Riho was in there defending the title, but you also had Nyla Rose, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and my new wrestling waifu, Hikaru Shida. And they just tore the house down. Like, they really got their characters across in some of the best stuff I've seen from them since this company began.
Oh yeah, this is probably one of the best women's matches so far.
Just Hikaru running wild at the start, Nyla doing all that stuff with tables, and Britt constantly trying to get in on the action but being shoved away by someone else. And then that promo afterwards where she was so frustrated and she was like, Riho, why the fuck aren't you here more? That was good stuff.
But screaming at her in English when Riho in current canon only speaks Japanese. I just wanted, right after she says all that, I just wanted Riho to look at Nakazawa and go, Nani?
Oh, that would have been so good.
But yeah, it was a fantastic match. Really great, really well paced. bucket fun character, and like storylines with the women's division, and they need more work on the storyline. I think their characters so far have been to a T.
Yeah, the characters are really getting over. It's just there's not a lot of great interplay with them, but we're getting there. Like, clearly Hikaru is getting over with the crowd, and there's a great story to be told of her becoming the champion. It's just not where we're going right now. And I'm one of the people who's kind of like, I don't know if we should be pushing Statlander so hard right away. But I also don't know who you would do instead of that, because I think they wanted Britt Baker to be the lady, but she's just not gotten over in the way they thought she would. So it's kind of like, okay, who do we go with now? Let's try this new person.
See, here's the thing, and they're already kind of hinting at aspects of Britt Baker that I think would be a much more interesting direction for her character, where she's overly clinical and technical.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she was doing that promo, going like, I'm going to grab this and do this, it was like, oh, I don't understand a shit you're saying, but like, fuck yeah.
I also think like they maybe need to downplay the dentist thing a little bit, because that's the main criticism I see of her is people keep going like, how are you a professional at that level, but also a professional athlete? It doesn't seem like something that would compute. I'm not saying I agree with that, because I think that's the point, is that like she's such a badass that she can do both of those things.
I think that's something they need to show more than tell, and I think that technical aspect, that clinical aspect could work. She is such a driven and intelligent kind of person that no. She can do both because she's just that smart. Use it as like part of her gimmick. It's like, it's not her gimmick's not that she's a dentist. Her gimmick is the fact that she's a wrestler who is this good and is a dentist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the gimmick's not the dentistry. The gimmick is the fact she has a doctor in her name.
Yeah.
She's smart. She's intelligent. She's clever.
She's a educated lady.
Yeah, use that to kind of get across, like, kind of like a female Hannibal Lecter without the cannibalism. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Nyla Rose was fantastic. I always love what she does. As a big, mean, like, I'm gonna fuck this girl over.
Did you see what Jungle Boy tweeted afterwards?
No.
He tweeted a picture of her out of her gear on her cell phone and him lying in a broken table. And he just said, I asked Nyla Rose if I could share her Uber.
That's what I want from Nyla Rose. She's the one that goes like, fuck you, bitch.
Mm-hmm. She's angry Braun Strowman of the AEW women's division. Because remember like early 2019 when his whole story was that he wanted a championship match, but the Shield kept ganging up on him to keep him away from Roman, and he was getting more and more pissed off. Remember when Raw was good?
Yeah.
That's how I see Nyla.
But Riho retains. She's going on to face Chris Statlander next week on Dynamite.
Yeah.
There's a lot of next weeks on Dynamite, which is good for a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, we didn't get a backstage, or not a backstage, a full-on kind of like video package cutaway thing to Evil Uno sitting in a nice office. I assume it's the AEW home office. And he's sitting at a desk talking to somebody sitting behind the camera on the other side of the desk, who he refers to as the Exalted One. And he basically just gives a report of what happened during the year-end episode, saying, like, the Elite have fallen, we've proven that they're weak and they can be defeated, and the final phase of our plan is close at hand.
Yeah, I like that it didn't treat Evil Uno as like a minion, as more of like, hey buddy, we're partners in this, I'm just giving you an update on my end.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one of three options it can be. One option is Marty Scurll, because hey,
all right,
you know, it could make sense. There's things there. A second option that I saw a couple people going on about was Christopher Daniels going back to his Fallen Angel gimmick. there's something interesting there.
Because people are also, well, no, that wouldn't gel because why would he be getting a report if he was there? But people are talking about the whole, he might be the guy, the one minion that had a special mask.
Yeah. But there's things there. It's going to be interesting. Or thing we talked about between the cast, because we record 2 different podcasts same day. Hey, check out Analytical Fanboys. Click subscribe. Click the button. Do the shit.
Yeah.
Of a certain Matthew Harday.
The broken one himself.
And like,
he's been doing a YouTube series where he's basically saying like, yeah, I'm going back to Broken and I'm leaving WWE when my contract's up, and WWE has been bringing him out on main roster shows not this last week, but the weeks up until the last one as 90s Matt Hardy just to get squashed.
Yeah. But like, if it's Matt Hardy, whoo boy, imagine broken Matt Hardy and being the Elite.
Oh my god. Dude, I want that so bad. I want to love Matt Hardy again.
Here's the thing I would love to see. First time he's being on the Elite is during a Douya segment.
Yeah.
And something happens, blah, blah, blah. He's doing Douya! And then he keeps doing the thing. And then Matt Hardy goes, yes!
Perfect. Beautiful. I love it.
Oh, man. So next, we had a little match between Wrestle Kingdom's own Jon Moxley. We're recording this right near Wrestle Kingdom, by the way.
Wrestle Kingdom is tomorrow night.
Wrestle Kingdom is tomorrow night. And I'm going to try and watch most of it. I'm not going to watch it live because, goddamn, that's a WrestleMania at midnight. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to try and watch good parts of it because, hey, the future of AEW may drastically change at Wrestle Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Also, Jushin Thunder Liger's last match. You got to watch that.
Jushin Thunder Liger's last match, the future of AEW, Jon Moxley being Jon Moxley, plus, hey, New Japan's pretty good.
Yeah.
But this Jon Moxley match was versus Trent
of the Best Friends. Which I'm sure a few people probably raised an eyebrow at, because what's a best friend guy doing taking on Jon Moxley? Jon Moxley's the big, tough, scary guy. It's, once again, showing that these guys can hang.
Yeah. I definitely feel like Trent's the guy who they kind of want to go, hey, you're going to get a little bit of a singles run. And I'm pretty sure Chuck T's a little okay with that. It's like, whatever. I'm happy.
I wouldn't mind if just him and Orange did some tag stuff for a while. Be interesting to see that dynamic.
Yeah, but it made Trent look really good. Trent still lost. Mox won, but he didn't look like a dweeb.
Yeah, it was very much a making both guys look good, but this is the guy who has to go. It's the same thing as the Darby Cody match.
It definitely feels like one of those things. Like give this guy a few more months and a little bit more training and a little bit more experience. He might win. Mm-hmm. It's just that little bit of Jon Moxley had a little bit of an edge. But while Jon Moxley was celebrating his victory, a little fucking gnat came into the crowd and started talking.
Yeah, Sammy Guevara showed up and he did some stuff. He basically said, "Hey, Mox, stick around. We're gonna talk to you. We want to say some stuff." And then Chris Jericho came on the video screen that they're Titantron, and he's like, "Hey, Moxley."
He's outside. He's outside the Jacksonville Jaguars arena, the stadium.
Yeah. He's going, "Hey, buddy, what's up? You have a good match? That's great. That's great." So, anyways, you know how I asked you to join the inner circle? Let me sweeten the deal a little bit. Let me give you a title.
Let me give you partial stake in the company we're making. Let me give you executive vice presidency in that company, which is fantastic. Like a bunch of little bits. Here's the offer that I'm willing to give you. And all the while, Jericho is kind of leaning up against a car, and then the camera kind of pans back a little bit. Zoom. It's not a zoom. It's not a pan. Is it a pan? No, it's not a pan. What is it? A dolly? A dolly. Kind of dolly's back. Correct camera terminology. It's important. kind of dollies back. Cameraman walks back a little bit, and you see this car, and it's kind of obscured by Jericho. And he says, "Oh yeah, here's the thing. All the members of the Inner Circle, we kind of pitched in together and bought you this Ford GT. And oh my god,
it's a pretty car.
It's a beautiful car. That is probably the only car I'd be very, very tempted if I was ever in any financial situation to get a supercar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, sure, Ferraris are beautiful, Lamborghinis, fucking beautiful, Bugattis, beautiful, but a Ford GT, ooh, Ford GT.
It's also the most expensive car on the market right now.
Yeah, because it is a superly weird engineered car. It has a teardrop cockpit. It has flying buttresses for wings. It's a beautifully engineered car. As just a piece of technology, it is. Mwah. I'm a little bit of a car guy.
Yeah.
I like cars. I do realize that they're kind of shitty for the environment, and that's partially why I like weird tiny cars that don't do a lot of damage. But like, fuck, if you offered me a Ford GT, I'd be hard pressed to deny it.
So basically, what we're saying is Boingo Rider to the Inner Circle confirmed.
If Jericho wants to give me a Ford GT, I'd fucking kiss his toes. Oh man, it's a good car. It's a beautiful fucking car. But Jericho says, all this is yours if you join, and he drives off. And Jon Moxley's going. He had a little bit of a look like, huh, fuck, man.
That's a nice car.
That's a nice car. And here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Jon Moxley, in real life, does have a good couple muscle cars. He is a car guy.
Yeah.
Damn, it's a fucking good car. You know what? Speaking of Ford GTs, I might one day, that may be a thing I want to try and track down, get the money for, just have and drive around a Ford GT 40, which is the first one with the fucking goofy ass doors. Because if you haven't ever seen that car, it has like a shelf on the top of the door. Like, it's weird. And it's only 40 inches tall. The whole car is. That's why it's called a GT40. Yeah. But that's enough about fucking beautiful cars. Sammy had a match because he was already out there.
Yeah,
so,
he waited for the break. He did his cue cards gimmick, which I'm into it. I like it.
It's cute. It's cool. It references Love Actually.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing.
And he fucking used it to be firsty at Victoria Justice's sister this week, which was hilarious.
Yeah. And then the man who's pissed off at him for filming while his arm was getting broken comes out, and his theme song is so much better because it just doesn't sound like a Green Day ripoff.
Yeah.
Dustin comes out, and they have a little fucking match.
And it's pretty solid. It's pretty good. It really is starting to get across that Dustin's character in AEW is he's the reckoning that comes for younger people who fuck up. Like we talked about this while we were watching, not necessarily a Taker thing, but kind of in that vein of I make you realize you're making a mistake here.
He's a kayfabe, non-shitty version of a wrestler's court. You know, that you fucked up. I'm gonna fuck you up as basically punishment. But it was a fun match. Sammy did a lot of his kind of stuff, but he didn't go full vlogging on the top rope. Dustin got in a lot of his good shit. His like genuine. I fucking love Dustin's scoop body slams.
Yeah,
like that is one of my favorite fucking moves.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just fantastic. It was a good match. It's written here that Sammy won. I don't remember that. I thought Dustin won.
He did win. I got a little upset over it.
Now I remember.
Yeah.
This was a couple days ago because, hey, we're recording this 2 days after, not 1 day after now.
Yeah, things change. Quick aside, but related to Dustin, when do you think we're going to see him work with Sammy Kiss again? Because I haven't seen Sammy Kiss in a while. Is he like on his honeymoon or something?
That may be a thing, but it may just be like, hey, we don't have a thing for you right now, so we're just not gonna use you, and like
go hang out on the indies.
Go be yourself on the indies. You have a place when we have a place for you. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I want to see that graphic, Kissed by a Rhodes, because that's the name they decided on.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing I can definitely see after, like, a couple more tag teams go for the belt. I can definitely see them going, like, you know what? Let's try and be a tag team for a little bit. Let's try and go for this because we had some chemistry there.
Yeah.
And plus, they're just fucking adorable together.
Yeah.
As a tag team unit, because
without a doubt, one of my favorite dark segments so far.
Yeah, it was a beautiful segment of Justin just going like, no, this kid is the future. He's great. And Sonny going like, oh man, you were an inspiration. You made me feel like it was okay to be myself while wrestling. And it's like, you know what? Goldust wasn't so bad, man.
Gets you in a spot.
Yeah. It makes you realize that sometimes shitty things can have an importance.
Yeah.
Shitty interpretations of things, because Goldust did remove some of the what could be considered negative aspects.
He normalized having characters of that orientation.
Yeah. Which even then, Goldust was kind of basically straight, but like he did gay shit kind of character. But like
he was straight, but he did gay shit to get heat.
Yeah. But hey, Dustin's making up for it. You know what? Sunny Kiss is awesome.
Yeah.
Shake that ass, Sunny Kiss. Speaking of asses, were you waiting for me to make that segue?
I was just wondering how you were going to get to the next thing.
MJF, the asshole himself, basically said, hey, I'm going to name my terms next Dynamite, where
for
he
a
did
match with Cody.
So here's the terms as MJF laid it out. It's going to be a Revolution. Okay, cool. It's a pay-per-view match.
It will only be at Revolution.
Only be at Revolution. Can't be at any other time. And you have to beat Wardlow in order to secure it.
And you cannot touch me until Revolution. If you or anyone associated with you attacks me before Revolution, the match is off.
And 3, if I win, grovel at my feet.
And receive 10 lashes.
So, fucking stakes.
Mm-hmm.
So many stakes that Jericho would promote it on his podcast as Omaha. That was a shitty joke. You shouldn't have laughed.
No, I love Omaha steaks. They're so juicy and delicious, and hey, we could use a sponsor.
Oh god, I thought I was bad at shilling.
I do it when the opportunity itself. That's the thing. I never try to force it.
Force it like watching our other podcast, Analytical Fanboys. Like,
oh goodness.
Oh goodness. Fuck me. Like Pac and the Lucha Bros got fucked by the Elite. In a fun, goofy match with a guest commentator of Hangman Drunken Page.
Yeah, Hangman Page has been drinking.
Man, I love how they've basically been testing the waters with that as a gimmick and being the Elite, and people are going like, "Why isn't it on Dynamite and everything?" Because they're not doing it, bitch.
And they've been hinting at it through his like name bar, because we had like spent last week home with a bottle of whiskey. I don't know, make it say Happy Holidays, that stuff. And now it's just straight up like, yeah, he's drinking a lot, because there was this backstage. Like, that was another thing about this show where they're listening to criticism, people saying like, there's actually too much wrestling here. We could use some more promos. We could use some backstage. And they're like, okay, here's Penelope Ford punching Joey Janela in the dick, establishing a feud with her and Kip Sabian against him. Here's a segment where Adam Page comes in on an interview with Private Party and steals some of their booze.
And they're like a little upset, but also worried about Adam Page. It's like, boy, you've been drinking a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down.
He's like, I know my limit.
Oh yeah, we hadn't mentioned Taz was taking over for Tony Schiavone, and he was great. He was great through the whole night.
Yeah, him and JR have such good chemistry.
Yeah, like genuinely, some of the best commentary is on AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody feels like superfluous. Like, you can take Tony Schiavone out, and it feels like a completely different commentary team.
Yeah, and you legitimately miss him, but you're also enjoying what's going on.
Yeah, and you can put in a third member like Taz, and it completely changes the dynamic. It's a different tag team. It's not a tag team, different commentary team, where the people's roles are still pretty similar, but it's different because, like, with Tony Schiavone, it's Excalibur, JR, Tony. It's very much like Excalibur going like, look at all this amazing new shit in wrestling, and JR going like, yeah, it reminds me of this old shit in wrestling, but I'm not quite a fan of this new some of this newer stuff. And Tony's going like, come on, JR, this new stuff is cool too. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. But with Taz in the Tony role, Excalibur, JR, Taz and JR are going full on like, nah, man, look at the strategy they're going. It's much more technical. They're going like very in depth on ideas and like, oh no, look, he's got this hold going on and it's affecting this, and it's like very much like that. Mm-hmm. And Excalibur's kind of going up through the motion and the moves, and they're going like, yeah, no, you're right. That move's going to be very important. Mm-hmm. It's much more technical, much more sports folk. Fantastic. It's great.
Yeah, and then you get Hangman Page coming in this final match to bring in some character. And they didn't use him a whole bunch, but when they did use him, he was really good. Like there's a great moment that everybody's already pointed out, but there's a great moment when I think it's Nick Jackson and Rey Fenix are in the ring and they're doing some stuff, and JR's just like, there are no two wrestlers I would rather watch go at it than these guys. And there's a pause, and Adam Page just goes, thanks, Jim.
And it's just like perfect little moments of character like that. And I think him being quiet kind of fits drunken Adam Page a little bit. Mm-hmm. He's sad. He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, and like there's also a moment where they talk about like, I forget who they said it was, but there's going to be another tag team match of him and Kenny up against an established tag team, and Hangman literally goes, "Oh, I didn't know about that. They're just finding shit for me to do, I guess. Okay."
Yeah, it feels very much like Hangman's kind of tuned out, and it's an interesting character.
Mm-hmm. And it leads into the final angle, but we'll talk about that after we get a little more into this match, because this fucking match, man.
It's a Young Bros match. It's a Young Bucks match. It's a Lucha Bros match. It has Kenny Omega doing Kenny Omega things and Pac being a beast.
Yeah, there was just such great character work in this, interweaving all of the storylines, because Kenny's got a bit of heat with the Lucha Brothers now. Of course, the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers are long-standing rivals at this point. The whole Pac thing is evident, and there's a great moment when Kenny gets in the ring with Pac for the first time, and they just lock eyes like, you fucker, and it's proper good shit.
Oh, proper good shit. And it's the first time Kenny Omega has won with the One-Winged Angel since AEW started.
Yeah, and that was kind of the story going into this episode. There was a whole video package that opened the episode that we didn't talk about, just recapping like the last few months worth of storylines where the Elite have just kind of been getting shit on. And it's like, wow, they're not really at the top of the food chain anymore. That kind of sucks. But hey, the records reset today. Let's see if maybe the stars of the company can finally get some big wins. And yep, Cody got a big win. And now here, Kenny and the Bucks collectively got a big win. And Cody comes out and they get in the ring and they're celebrating. And they call the Hangman. They're looking at the commentary desk. They're like, "Come on, man, let's celebrate. This is great. We're finally back on track. You're still our friend. Come on." And he's just like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna go back and drink the rest of this. You guys have fun though. Bye." Yeah,
and it's very real to life. It's like, yeah, sometimes a friend you want to hang out with just goes like, "Nah, I'm in a depressive state. Mm-hmm. I ain't feeling anything right now."
People drift apart. There are people who you're really close with in one stage of your life, like say high school, middle school, or even college, and then the next stage comes and you never talk to them again because you just go down different paths. And that's kind of what they're doing here. It's also kind of a crisis of conscience thing. Hangman's having a lot of self-doubt. It's not really a blaming each other moment. It's, I'm not as good as these guys, and I've always considered the not as good as the other guys member, and they're my friends, and it hurts to have be compared to my friends in that way. He's basically seeing himself as the Marty Jannetty of the group.
Yeah, and here's the thing. To a certain extent, there is a little bit of truth because everybody knows the Bucks. Everybody knows Cody. Everybody loves Kenny. And then, oh yeah, there's Paige.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, like, it almost also feels like Hangman's going like, no, I want to improve myself. But if I keep being with them, they're just going to let me be me as I am because they like me the way I am. Not because they want me to be a loser and be under them. It's just because, no, you're Hangman. You're our friend. We love you through thick or thin. And I don't need that. I need someone to challenge me. And he's not getting that from the Elite, so he's going like, you know what? I'm just going to challenge myself. And he's doing that in a very destructive way with the drinking right now, but like, it feels like that's the kind of a little bit of the direction they're going in.
Yeah.
And boy, that's a fascinating and deep wrestling.
Yeah, it's a very different kind of story for wrestling, but it feels very appropriate for the medium in today's day and age, and I'm super into it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going, and I am very excited to see it because they've had a couple wrestling storylines that are very traditional wrestling. Tune in next week, see what happens, see what crazy shit's gonna happen. This feels like their long form HBO Breaking Bad story that's not necessarily tune in next week. It's, oh man, what's gonna happen from a month from now?
Yeah, like I've seen some people saying like, oh, Hangman's gonna turn heel next week. He's gonna beat up Kenny at the end of that tag match. And I'm like, no, they might have another fight, but I don't think it's gonna be a full-on heel turn. I think if they're headed in that direction, it won't be till Revolution or before Revolution.
Here's what I see happening next week. They either win or they lose. Either way, Kenny goes for a celebration and Hangman just starts walking to the back. No fanfare, no nothing. Just walks to the back. And Kenny's just going like, what the fuck, dude? It'd be better if they win, too, because, oh man, we won! Hangman, isn't that... Hangman, where are you? What are you doing, Hangman? You okay there?
There's a bottle of whiskey with my name on it. I'll see you later.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Like, and that feels much more of the direction AEW would want to go in because it's new and fresh, but it's also sort of reminiscent of aspects of traditional wrestling storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was wrestling for this last week, the first week of the new year. Oh God, we have another year to do this shit. That's, if you're watching this, you probably already see in the description, but that's going to be in the description. Is, oh God, we have another year. Oh man, but yeah. So why don't you put the fork in the electric socket?
Wow. Okay. Hi, I'm the vacuum. I'm the Vacuuminator. I make toy reviews. You can find me at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. That's TheVacuuminator. I do stuff. It's fun. It's cool. I'm on social media at the Vacuuminator on Instagram and Twitter.
Bangarang. I'm sorry I made that joke.
It's fun.
It just felt appropriate instead of just saying plug your shit like I'm about to do with, hey, I'm Chris Boingo Writer Gaston. I do video editorial things on YouTube. You can find my channel at Boingo Writer. The link probably is in the description. I'm on Instagram at Boingo_Writer. I'm at Twitter at Boingo_Writer. Yeah. You can join my Discord server. A link to that is in the description. But in the meantime, this was Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, a part of Modular Media thing. It's ill-defined at this point in time. Probably be defined sometime in the future. But right now, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment some things, do whatever. But in the meantime, Hangman's gonna go drink.
Yep. And so am I, because, hey, we're recording on Fridays now, and the week's over. So it's time to go visit Mr. Booze.